sir. Now, what is your name?
My name is Charles Sims.
Let me say thank you for your service first.
Yes, sir. Appreciate
you
that.
Part of the
Yes, sir.
Army?
United States Army.
Yes, sir. Are you retired? Or
I'm completed with my enlistment. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. What is your name?
Charles Sims.
And I understand you are the great-grandson?
The 3 times great-grandson of Senator James Zachariah George of Mississippi. He was a 3-term United States Senator, Chief Justice of the Mississippi Supreme Court, and he authored the 1890 Constitution of Mississippi, creating the overall structure and becoming the primary architect of the Jim Crow laws. Yes, sir.
Wow. And what about Edmund Pettus?
So he had a relationship with Edmund Pettus. Edmund Pettus was sent by Alabama during the Secession Convention of 1860 to review the Secession Convention in Mississippi, and John C. Pettus was his brother, was then governor of Mississippi. So my great-grandfather was part of the body that broke away from the Union, and Edmund Pettus was sent by Alabama to review the Secession Convention. So that was where they met. Later on, they were colleagues and friends in life, and Edmund Pettus came and was at the funeral of my great-grandfather. Yes, sir.
So how does it make you feel, and what are your thoughts about looking back at your ancestors and the
Sure.
relationship with Pettus and being here in Selma this weekend?
So obviously I think it's long overdue. I think that unity in the community is possible, and I think that knowing the history of my great-grandfather and the racial codes that he was instrumental in creating, it created the biggest obstruction to the freedom and voting rights of Black Americans that lasted 70 or 80 years. So I think that his relationship with Edmund Pettus, and me being raised in that culture of the South, obviously I'm a son of the South, but I have learned the history and understood the things that the impact or the negative impact that it had on our society later on in life. And so I had to come to terms with that and understand what part do I play in that. So I had to figure out what was the next way forward, and I had to understand that certain things were created, but now I'm here to do what I'm going to do, and to move that narrative forward, to bring that peace, to bring that unity in the community, and to show that it doesn't matter if we're from Mississippi, Oxford, Memphis, Tennessee, or Selma, Alabama. We have the ability to sit down, reach across party or racial lines, talk about the things that divide us, and plant that seed of love and nurture it over time to see the benefits that later on down the line we can come to what Dr. King, or Martin Luther King's son, Martin Luther King III, calls the beloved community. We may not be in the vicinity, but with people, everybody has a part to play in the dream, and if we can all play our part, we can keep moving closer and closer and closer.
How long have you been on this path?
About 4 years. Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd's death had a big impact on me. George Floyd crying out for his mother definitely grabbed my heart, and kind of wrenched me to the core, so to speak. And I had to ask a lot of questions of myself, my history, where I come from, and the impacts that it had over time, and what could I do to make my home, make my state, and make my country. Obviously, I served in the military. I want to do everything I can do to help benefit the people of our society and to help bring people together. I think it's a very important. It shows a lot of things that are going on in our country and around the world, that if we come together, it doesn't matter who wins the next election, when the next government shutdown occurs, when the next war is on the horizon, because we'll have each other. And that's what's important to our country, is that we finally have that coming together, cast off the old bitterness and old hatred of the past. I don't say that I'm the great-grandson of Jim Crow because I'm proud of it. I say it because I'm entwined in it and know that it can be overcome.
So why did you come to Selma this weekend, and what are you hoping to do in the future?
I came to Selma this weekend because I believe that it's important to show visual acts of not only racial reconciliation, but political reconciliation as well. Our country's going through a lot right now, and we need to show that there is a pathway forward. So it's important for me to come here to stand with the community, to we have all these examples from the 50s, 60s, 70s, these legends of the civil rights era that people look to. So we need these modern examples. We need to show people that regardless if I came from Mississippi, we can still come to Selma, show love, that Mississippi and Alabama are sister states. James Meredith, the guy that integrated Ole Miss, said that Mississippi is the center of the racial issue, it's the center of the poverty issue, and Alabama is very close to that. And we share in our culture and history, and we believe that Mississippi and places like Alabama will be the leadership moving forward to show that if we come from what's considered the worst and we can sit down and do these things, anybody can do it. It is achievable, to just show that if you reach out your hand in love, that it will be accepted.
Anything else you'd like to say to our audience?
That unity in the community is possible. Let's get out. Let's do the hard things. That if we value unity, we have to be willing to sit down and talk about the things that divide us. If we value the dream, we have to be willing to live it and pray about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.